Out with espresso martinis and in with Filipino food. That's what readers had to say in Minneapolis-St. Paul Magazine's annual restaurant poll, which also featured their top choices for dining across several categories in the Twin Cities. Many well-known names landed on the list for best in Minneapolis and St. Paul, such as Bar La Grasa and the Lexington, respectively. A tasty and nature-esque spot that Aaron featured, Guy Noy, got first place for new restaurants. Food and dining editor Stephanie March says the Twin Cities is on the cusp of a, quote, scene-changing year. A bold statement fueled by the innovation she's seeing from chefs and owners.
And we see so many openings that are really kind of significantly coming towards people really owning their cuisines and the things that they want to be expressing in the Twin Cities. And I feel like there's so many big projects finally coming to fruition, I think.
The article has several categories for foodies to digest: best bar and drinks, steakhouse, seafood, tacos, fried chicken, plant-based, and so much more. So be sure to check it out. Our resident foodies on the floor, of course, are Aaron and Mike. So they're going to help us analyze a few of those lists, and we'll put up the best of Minneapolis first. And a reminder, this is according to the readers, not critics, so the people like you. Yeah. Bar La Grasa, we mentioned, was #1. It's a mainstay on the list for Minneapolis. Porzana, #2, is a new restaurant and already landing at #2, according to readers. And also of note, as you look at this list, 4 of these spots are in the North Loop, all of them except All Saints. Let's hop over the river now. Meritage takes the top spot in St. Paul. Stephanie was excited to see Gus Gus and Muriel make the list, 2 smaller chef-owned and women-run restaurants. As you look at these 2 lists, whether it be the context or just ones you've tried, anything standing out to you?
Well, I liked Stephanie's point and the point you just made about the smaller restaurants, the female chefs. I think that diners are really looking for the backstory a little bit more now. They want not just incredible food, but now they want you to share your soul with them too. It's like your whole life story, how you got to where you were, your training. A lot of these chefs came from bigger restaurants that people know, and then they branch off and do their own thing because they're inspired by a certain cuisine or their life story. And I think that people are really loving that.
We're better off for it. Yeah. When I moved here 15 years ago, coming from the East Coast, the restaurant scene here was purely not good. And I think a lot of it was because it was these bigger restaurant groups that did not bring any personality or soul to what they did. And so I'm with you, Aaron. I'm all in for these smaller restaurants and the ones that are bringing, in some cases, their family recipes held for generations to all of us to enjoy.
Yeah, showing that off a little bit. But the lists are great. I mean,
some of which have been on the floor, which is what's fun. Not necessarily from that list, but just in general to what you're speaking about. Now, here's the part that might be most interesting. Trends people want to see go. The tip line under the service charge. High prices for small portions, which could be a result of the economy. And espresso martinis.
The hate for espresso martinis.
The deals with that. That's
Who was drinking so many of them that made a top 3 list?
She did say, too, she laughed about that one. Every year there's something that ends up on has to go, and also we really like. And she said that's this year's version of that.
Up on both.
Yeah, a little bit on both.
I've seen you order an espresso martini,
Jeff. I think it's like, it's the classy Red Bull vodka. Okay, I need a little caffeine and alcohol, and I've graduated.
Has to go $25 cheeseburgers, but also has to stay $25 cheeseburgers. I'm with you. Like, there are those trends that I know I shouldn't be doing this, but I still love it.
Do you like an espresso martini, Mike?
It's fine. It's too sweet for me in general, but I don't have anything like, I'm not opposed to it.
I had an amazing one on my birthday, I have to tell you, with Turkish coffee and cardamom in it, and it was not here.
You need to tell the people who voted where that was.
That was not here. That was in Portland, Oregon. But I'll send it to you if you want it.
All right, lastly, what kinds of restaurants do people want to see in the Twin Cities? Filipino food topped the list. We know of a couple that have actually been featured on this show, followed by Korean barbecue and vegetarian healthy options. We know we had, unfortunately, Calzada, a Filipino restaurant from St. Paul that has closed its doors, but I do feel like that scene is expanding. And of note, Stephanie said there are some good Korean barbecue restaurants, but she said readers want one that's like a staple.
I think that's all they do, and they're doing it well. Yeah, there are places. Gosh, I'm biased because I lived in Korea for 2 years, but I love Korean barbecue. Also, I'd like to see just more Korean restaurants in general. That's just me. And Korean, a lot of people know Korean food for Korean barbecue. I know I've talked to Ann Kim about that with Kim's, right? She was getting away from that and trying to do more of those home-cooked dishes, but I totally understand the hankering for some good Korean barbecue around here. I would sign up.
We're doing a lot of Pan-Asian flavors and foods really well. So I think if anybody's going to kind of crack that code, it might happen in this market.
Yeah, and a couple last things here. There's one more trend that Stephanie says she's noticed about when and where we're actually eating.
It's the work from home thing where people are maybe not coming downtown during the week, but they are boosting the sales of their suburban restaurants.
Specifically, if they're coming downtown, the people that live suburban life, they're coming down Friday, Saturday night, and they're really expanding to what's in my neighborhood now on Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. You mentioned there's those nights when you just want to go to some place that's 5 minutes from your house, and that's usually a weeknight. You're surrounded by the good restaurants.
Yes.
He's spoiled.
But like, you know, Smack Shack has expanded to the suburbs, and one of our favorite places downtown here has a place in Edina as well. Yeah, the food is great, and I'm glad that the suburban people have it as well.
Yeah, these are great
because
lists.
parking stinks down here. Let's be honest.
That's not easy.
It does.